UnsolvedMysteries123.
Hello, welcome to another Unsolved Mysteries 1, 2, 3 video. I am one of the beloved owners of this channel, and my name is Luke, but my grandma calls me a cutie. And of course, you also have the freedom to call me that as well. But never mind my insanely good looks. Today, me and the Unsolved Mystery crew are uncovering a very unsolved mystery. Which is, as you probably already know from the title of this video, the Zodiac Killer! And for any ladies asking, I'm a Pisces. Now, you may be wondering, who is in this unsolved mystery crew? Well, I'll be telling you right now, with the use of super intellectual technology. This is...
Oh, wow.
Oopsies, wrong picture. This is Grayson, one of our greatest reporters here in the crew.
My.
This is Temmie, one of our greatest researchers. Give him anything and he'll gain information from it. And this is John, a jack of all trades.
Oh my.
Now, me and my crew present this unsolved mystery with extra meticulous details that make it not so unsolved. Now, you may be asking, how is your jawline so sharp? Well, first of all, thank you for the compliment, but I'm gatekeeping my training. Sorry, not sorry.
Bruh.
We're gonna be covering numerous amounts of topics about the Zodiac Killer. We'll be talking about his many crimes and killings, diving into his infamous murders. From mass killings to homicides, the many victims of his affected the whole point of serial killing. Another thing the Zodiac Killer was infamous for was his ciphers and letters. He created these messages after every murder, which adds on to the mystery and suspense, taunting the police and fear-mongering civilians. The Zodiac Killer is one of the most mysterious people in history. Even with clues and messages he leaves out, we've never found out who he truly is. We'll be showcasing some of the more famous suspects, and leave you to figure out who he truly is behind the mask of the Zodiac Killer. But first, we'll be presenting about his various crimes. You may be asked, who's going to be presenting that? Our jack of all trades, John. Take it away.
Famous killing. Presented by John.
With a lot of victims that the cold murder Zodiac Killer have killed, we will focus on one more particular person that he brutally lured and killed in an alley, Paul Stine. On the dark night of October 11, 1969, the town of San Francisco witnessed a scary doing of the Zodiac Killer, who took yet another life of a young, innocent victim, Paul Stine. Stine was a young, 29-year-old cab driver, and he lived a happy and innocent life. Stine sadly crossed paths with the mysterious killer. Stine became just a little toy in the Zodiac Killer's little game of cat and mouse with the police. The terrifying encounter concluded in Stine's terrible death, as the Zodiac Killer viciously shot him in the head in his own cab. After Stine's death, it left a trail of great fear and confusion in town, along with the Zodiac Killer's dangerous theft of Stine's belongings. The Zodiac Killer took Stine's wallet, car keys, and tore away a section of his blood-stained shirt tail. Despite the passing of time and thorough investigations about all of the victims, the Zodiac's true identity remains an everlasting mystery that still haunts people to this day. Today, the murder of Paul Stine serves as a reminder of the horrible, evil power of humans around us. Although this topic may be just gruesome, there is no such thing as guarantee that he will not come back to get us all one by one.
Letters and codes presented by Timmy.
Hello, my name is Temi, and today I will be talking about the letters and codes written by the Zodiac Killer. The 1960s in the Bay Area of California are often remembered as a time of love and social expansion, but there remains a terrible and unexplained stain on the otherwise illustrious history. A lone and extremely elusive killer wandered the Bay Area streets at night, known as the Zodiac Killer. Because of his messages signed with the Zodiac symbol, he became one of the most infamous and terrifying killers in history. While he claimed to be responsible for the killings of 37 people, investigators were only able to confirm 7 victims. 5 were murdered, 2 survived. Throughout his serial killings, the Zodiac Killer would write letters to the Bay Area press in an attempt to brag and taunt his pursuing officers. From the late 1960s to the early 1970s, the Zodiac Killer sent 4 coded letters of the 4 ciphers. Only one has actually been solved. His letters were written in 2 parts. The first part was usually written in plain text, while the other was in ciphertext, which he claimed contained his identity. In the plain text part, he threatened newspapers to publish his letters, or else he would kill more innocent people. In other segments of his letters, he listed the names of his next victims, which created havoc in the Bay Area. His goal was to use media to instill fear in Bay Area citizens, and it worked. As cryptography dug deeper into his letters, they were able to find out what drove the Zodiac Killer to keep killing. Of the 4 cipher letters he sent, one was a 3-part coded message sent to 3 different press companies, making a 408 symbol cipher. His other famous letter contains a 340-character cipher, which still does not have a definitive solution. After the Zodiac Killer sent his 408 symbol cipher, he sent another message to the police stating that if they could solve that cipher, they will have him. To understand what the Zodiac Killer meant by this, we will have to first see how the message was deciphered. In 1969, 2 school teachers, Donald and Betty Hardin, managed to crack the 7408. The 748 cipher consisted of random symbols corresponding to a plain text message, while the Zodiac Killer ciphers made him seem to be a genius. But 7408 was not all that difficult to solve. It was a homophonic simple substitution cipher. More than one ciphertext letter could correspond to a plain text letter. This may seem tricky, but historically speaking, the cipher was far easier than any cryptanalyst would have expected. That's the only cipher they were able to decode. But don't worry guys, the Zodiac Killer can't get you anymore. I think he's dead.
Suspects and identity mystery.
What's up, brother?
For years, people have been trying to figure out who the Zodiac Killer really was. Let's dive into some of the most famous suspects and their ongoing hunt to solve this mystery. First off, we have Arthur Leigh Allen. He's one of the most well-known suspects. Allen has some things in common with the killer's descriptions, such as the police sketches of the killer and the fact that he lived near where the crimes happened.
My God.
But even though investigators looked into him a lot, they never found solid proof that he was the Zodiac Killer. Still, his name comes up a lot in discussions about this case. Another figure of suspect is Ern Van Best Jr. whose own son raised suspicions about his father's possible involvement in Zodiac killings. Best's likeness to compose's sketches, along with his troubled past and alleged connections to some victims, made him a subject of investigation. However, conclusive evidence linking him to the crimes has yet to be found, leaving his status as suspect unresolved. Besides Ellen and Best Jr., there are lots of other people who have been suspected of being the Zodiac killer, such as Richard Garkowski, Lawrence Kane, Ross Sullivan, and Jack Terrence. You can pause the video right now and check out why they were on the suspect list. Yet, the mystery went on, leading to current detectives and police officers still investigating the mystery with old clues and new methods to try and crack the case. It shows how dedicated the police are to catch the Zodiac killer. Just like a real-life detective movie. Nowadays, scientists are using new DNA technology to try and solve the Zodiac mystery. They're looking at DNA from the crime scenes and using something called forensic genealogy to try and find relatives of the killer. It's like a giant puzzle they're trying to put together to figure out who the killer really might be. It's pretty cool stuff, but the problem is, the mystery still remains unresolved. As we wrap this up, one thing becomes clear. The quest for answers remains as intense as ever. Whether it's Arthur Leigh Allen, or Ben Vest Jr., or another name altogether, the search for truth and justice in this enduring mystery keeps on going. Whether it's through science or old-fashioned detective work, people are still trying to solve this mystery. It just goes to show how fascinating and puzzling the world of crime can be. Thanks for joining us as we explored the mystery of the Zodiac Killer. And don't worry, the Zodiac Killer can't murder either me or you guys.
I don't know what's happening right now. I don't know what happened to my roommates. I don't know anything, but somebody came into my house. I don't know what's happening. Please help me. Please. He's finding me. Please help me.